Season 2 of Doctor Who has been on a pretty hot streak of good episodes, but will this latest episode ruin that streak? Today we're talking about the good, the bad, about the story in the engine with podcast extraordinaire Josh Carr.
Hello.
I stole my YouTube intro for this.
That was incredibly professional.
Yeah, I'm quite impressed.
Thank you.
I think everyone's attention's going to be hooked in now. I think we're all ready to go.
Let's do it.
You just need a really clickbaity title. The engine did what?
Oh, yeah.
The story in the engine gone wrong.
The story in the engine kills Doctor Who.
Let's put that in the thumbnail.
Yeah, you haven't seen the thumbnail yet. It's just everything in flames, you know?
Yeah.
That feels like an accurate representation of my life.
And on that note, roll the intro.
Hello and welcome back to Who's There, a Doctor Who podcast. My name is Crispy, his name is Troy, and we're the hotline that accepts your calls from anywhere in time and space. And today, we're joined by someone else. Oh my goodness, it's podcast extraordinaire Josh Carr. How are you?
I'm really good, thank you. I'm very, very good.
Excellent.
Thank you for having me. It's nice to be on Who's There.
Who knew and who's there?
Yeah,
So
it's
strange.
like it sounds like somebody who's very forgetful.
No.
That's what
We need one more
happens
podcast called Where Am I?
when you search Doctor Who podcasts on like podcast platforms. It literally just reads as a list of questions by a very confused old man.
It's just a community full of amnesiacs.
Who's there? Who am I? Where am I?
I absolutely love that, and I absolutely adore your podcast, and so I
thank you
appreciate
very
you
much.
coming here today, being the podcast extraordinaire that you are, and thank you for bringing a microphone. This is going to be one of the best sounding Who's There episodes ever. So
Well, I
thank you.
do try.
Oh
Okay,
my
I've
goodness.
got to say, I hate to make someone be like a performing monkey, but can you please say hello, you lovely lot? Because I never get
Yeah,
tired
please,
of hearing it.
please.
Hello, you lovely lot.
Oh, come on.
Give it some welly. Give it some
Hello,
welly.
hello, you lovely lot. Hello.
There's something so soothing about that. There's something so
Ah,
soothing.
thank you.
So
I'm
comforting.
Glad.
Oh my
I'm glad.
goodness.
It's just one of them things. I did it once, and I was like, I can try and make this a catchphrase. It never caught on.
I
No
think
one
no,
ever
it should
referenced. I think
catch on.
you're the only person who's ever mentioned it as like a
What?
as like a consistent thing in the intro. I just say
Really?
it every week, and yeah, no one has ever really brought it up. To be honest.
To be
Well,
fair, I'm
Troy
quite
will
bad
notice
with people in
everything.
intros because I've
Yeah.
picked up with George and Cooper on Nostalgia Bait because, I don't know if maybe I'm going to leak this early. I'm in their next episode, and I brought it up with them before they were in it. It was like, Cooper, every time you go, welcome back to a brand new episode of Nostalgia Bait, like that doesn't make sense. Like you can't welcome someone back
does
to a new
every
thing.
time.
Like-
He does. Welcome back to a brand new episode. He does it every
Yeah,
time, doesn't he?
yeah,
Wow.
it drives me mental.
I love Cooper.
That's
Well,
so
I
funny.
recorded with George and Cooper yesterday for the story in
my
the
gosh,
engine, so
everyone's
that'll be
doing
later. Yeah,
It's all crossing over.
It's
all
all crossing
making
over.
sense.
Is this a crossover episode?
Oh, my
goodness.
man, a Bojack reference. Oh, this is going to be a great episode.
I've never seen BoJack. I've only seen the meme. I'm really sorry.
Take
I'm
it
going to
back.
let you
Take it
down
back.
immediately. There's more of this to come. What you want is to immediately have a moment where you go, "Oh, this is great," and then I let you down. That's
That's
what
how I
we can
felt right
expect.
through the episode I was on with you, mate. You know,
exactly, exactly. That's what I do. That's how I roll, baby.
Oh no, it's
Wow.
great to have you, mate. It really, really is.
Ah, thank you. It's lovely to be on. This bit took you
And-
long enough. I mean, I can't say that because I've not had Crispy on mine yet. That is in my plans. But Crispy,
please.
I'm not going to lie.
I was going to bring it up during the episode.
Trying to arrange Australian time zones just makes me run a mile.
It's stupid.
I did
it's
it
the
once.
most embarrassing part of my life.
I'm so embarrassed to be Australian.
He hates
Oh.
being upside down. He does. He hates it.
Well, hey everyone, welcome back to a brand new episode of
Oh my
Who's
God,
There,
don't you
where
dare.
we're talking about the story and the engine, the 5th episode of Season 2 of Doctor Who. So good, it got a second season. Now, the way we usually do these things, just to kind of feel the vibes around the room, is we give the episode a score out of 10. And Troy, I'm going to start with you. Troy.
Wow, you
What
steered
do you
us.
think?
You steered the ship, fella. I love it.
Thanks, man.
I'm normally
really
the big
trying.
scoring man. So,
Yeah.
it's well. I mean, I'm glad I managed to watch this episode twice because I've been feeling very, very ill for the last few days, and I
Yeah,
managed
Troy's
to
been
power
not so
through.
good.
I'm glad because I literally woke up this morning and I feel like I've turned a corner, so I'm very, very happy about that. But I did manage to watch it twice, which I'm quite glad about. And so I feel more informed in giving it a solid 8 out of 10. I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it. It's not my favourite episode of the series, but I really like it because it kind of gives me... It gave me similar vibes to something like Midnight, where a lot of it was in one enclosed space, and I really like episodes like that, where it's very much just in one setting for most of the episode. And I really like some of the performances, like Ncuti especially. I think we got some really good stuff with him. Like he really shined in this one. I personally feel some really good stuff from him. I didn't fully understand the kind of the gods and the kind of the storyteller of the gods thing the first time round, but on a second viewing, it all kind of clicked a bit more into place. So like I found that slightly confusing at first, but I followed on with it after a second watch and thought it was really, really strong. I really enjoyed it. I will get into it more, but I've not got much to say generally. First off, I'm just like, yeah, this was good.
Okay,
this was
interesting.
Good.
All right,
it's a great way to start a podcast, by the way, is by saying I've not got anything to say.
Yeah, I've got not much to say on this episode.
There's something about this particular episode where I'm just like, yeah, this is good. Like, it's not one of my favorite episodes of the series, but it's also
Thanks for
better than
listening,
guys.
Goodbye.
I'll just sit here and say nothing. Then it's all good.
Well, damn it, Josh has seen right into our plan because we're going to rely on Josh to carry this episode because we've got nothing to say apparently. No, I'm kidding.
Don't do that. Oh God!
But we will throw to you now, Josh. Please give us your thoughts, your brief thoughts, so we can kind of dissect it later. But just a nice overview and a score out of 10, pretty please.
A score out of 10 is very difficult for me because usually it takes me about 5 watches to give something a score out of 10.
5 business
I've watched
days.
it once, but yeah, I need time to digest, and usually I settle on a score a few months down the line. But if I'm going in with an immediate, I'm going to start with a range of where I think it's going to sit.
What is this, Limitless Win?
Yeah, it is. It's
a sensitive subject.
Another crossover.
Hey!
Okay. So I'm going to say we are between an 8 and a 9.5.
Wow. What?
And at the moment, I'd say I'm sat at about a 9.
Wow.
But it could go up, it could go down a little bit. But we're definitely in that range. But I'm going to settle at an 8.75 to a 9 as my sort of middle range.
Ooh, mathematical, I like it.
I loved it. I absolutely loved it. It might be, I was going to say my favourite of the series, but I might be my favourite of the era.
Wow.
Oh my goodness! Wow, I can't believe we've got you on today. That's amazing.
Yeah, well, you asked me to pick an episode that I was excited for, and I thought this is the one that I've been most excited for, and I was like, I really hope that was my worry, is because I never go into it wanting Doctor Who to fail, but I'm a glass half full and half empty fan in that, like, we've been on a very good run with these past 4 episodes, in my opinion. It's been very, very good. But then what my brain does, I think it's partly the football fan in me as well, is it goes, well, it can't last forever. It's gonna. When are the wheels gonna come off? But my wish was like, please don't let this be the one where the wheels come off, because this was easily the one before the series that I was most excited for, and it didn't. It absolutely matched my expectations and exceeded them in some places as well. But I thought it was a gorgeous episode. I loved it, and I really hope that on rewatches, because I have only seen it once, and then I've flicked through it a couple of times for podcast reasons. But I do hope that it maintains that. But it's definitely up there as one of my favourites of the era so far. I'd put it alongside Lux and Boom, but it's probably creeping just above them at the minute.
I am so unbelievably happy to hear that. That is crazy. Wow.
Good.
Wow. Exceptional timing. Well, now I feel bad because I'm going to give my score.
Oh, no.
Oh, no. Oh, dear.
Oh, no.
What's Crispy done this time?
So for context, his video's just come out, so I've not had any time to watch it, so I don't know what your score is.
Oh, no. Oh, we're in trouble. No, I loved it. I had a great time.
Oh, good.
I had a really, really good time. But I will say I have given the lowest score just I gave it a 7.5 out of 10 in my video.
Okay, that's still
What did you give
solid.
Robot Revolution?
A 6.
Oh, okay, right, cool. Yeah, I
Yeah.
thought
This
so.
is the thing. I feel like everyone's got their own scoring system. I mean,
Exactly.
like for me, like a 2 out of 10 is sort of like mostly the lowest I'll go, because at least I can appreciate that people have turned up to make it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That sort of earns a score of like.
Exactly.
I don't think I've ever given. I think the only time that I'll give something below like a 3 is if I really don't enjoy it, which is rare, or I'll be like, this is an offensive piece of media.
A
that should not
travesty,
exist.
yeah.
Like, this is something.
This
but
is
like genuinely, like I have
anti-art.
moral isures with this, and it should not exist on a base level. That's when I'll give very low score. But that means I'm quite generous with my 9s and 10s, I'd say. If I really, really love something, but most
So's
of my
Troy.
episodes,
Yeah.
I think most episodes sit between like a 6.5 and an 8.5 for me.
That's
Yeah.
fair. All you got to do is look at my letterbox, and you can see like the graph of all the ratings I've given, and like most of them are within like the 3.5 to 5 stars chunk. There's just huge bars for those and very small ones for anything less. So I'm very much with you on that.
Yeah, I like to spread the joy, spread the
Yeah.
positivity. Why not? And we got the pessimistic Australian in the corner over there.
Yeah,
eh?
I mean, it works well for a podcast dynamic, but
Yeah,
I
of
have to
course
be
it does.
a Debbie Downer sometime. But I think what I was amazed by, and it didn't get spoiled for me, and I'm not talking about that surprise cameo. I'm talking about the actual concept of the episode, because I think people kind of knew the concept or like what was happening, but I love the idea of an engine being powered by stories inside a barbershop. That is the most Doctor Who-y thing I've ever heard in my life, and that worked so unbelievably well for me. I like the core concept of this episode. I think is 5 stars. It's
So you knew
brilliant.
that going in, that it was an engine.
No, I
powered
didn't
by
know that.
stories?
I didn't know that
Okay,
at all.
good. Yeah, because I didn't.
I
I was
had
like,
no
this
idea.
title is bizarre. What are we doing here?
Yeah. Did
Yeah.
you know that, Josh? Did you know anything about this episode going into it?
No, I knew about the spider thing.
Yeah.
I knew about the barbershop, and I sort of pieced together. I think that might be what it is. That it's like a story engine of some sort, where the stories in the barbershop feed. So it wasn't confirmed, but I'd sort of thought, is that the kind of thing that we're doing? That's why I was quite excited for it, because I like that as a concept.
Yeah.
But I also was just very excited for a new writer and something like someone completely new to Who, and I know that it pulls on a lot of things that Inua Elms has done in his previous work. Like he's done the Barbershop Chronicles play,
yeah.
and I think the story about Yo-Yo Ma and the music, I think that's pulled from a short story or a poem that he wrote a while ago
wow.
as well. So I think
really?
it's very much like an ode to his work so far as well. But
Unreal.
repackaged into Doctor Who.
Yeah, no, I think, yeah, so this was written by new to Who writer Inua Elms, and they have quite a popular show called The Barbershop Chronicles, as you mentioned, and I think, did you hear like how this all came to be with Russell?
No.
Did he just slide into his DMs? That's what I
he
heard.
went. Yeah,
Something like-
he went and he went and saw the show and was like, "Wow, I would love to imagine like what would happen if the Doctor was in this play." And then he messaged Inua and was like, "Oh yeah, I was already writing something for Chibnall." And I've just got this chilling here. If you wanna do it, so this
Wow.
I feel like
Yeah.
this was supposed to be part of Series 13. This episode in some capacity.
Yeah, I mean,
Oh,
they
of
did reveal in
course.
Doctor Who magazine that Chris Chibnall had been in touch with Inua Elms about writing a story at some point. I don't know how
like an
far
old
it
Doctor
got
Who
off the
magazine?
ground. No, quite fairly recently. I think it was like 2 or 3 issues ago. I think
It's like
when they
after it
announced
come
the
out that he was
writers,
writing for this season.
yeah, when they announced the writers, they mentioned that Chibnall mean, not to name drop here, but I did originally have it in my plan to ask him about it, but I didn't get time when I did speak to Chibnall.
Coolest thing ever, by the way.
Yeah,
Context
very
for anyone that
blunt. He's
doesn't
not
know.
making it blunt. This man did just interview Chris Chibnall for his
It's
podcast.
the coolest damn thing on the
And it
planet,
charted
man.
him on Spotify and iTunes, which, honestly, congrats, fella. That's huge.
Yeah,
Thank you very
it's
much.
unreal. Congratulations.
Thank you. But yeah, no, I'm very intrigued by that, because I'm intrigued about what it would look like, because this very much feels like because I know that Ncuti was a big driving force in wanting Anura Elms as well to write for the show.
Oh,
so
wow.
it all seemed to just fall into place. Like, Ncuti wanted Anura Elms.
The
Russell
stars
wanted
aligned somehow.
Anura wanted Doctor Who. And they all just sort of convened at the same time accidentally and went, oh, should we do it then? And it's like, yeah, okay.
That's so cool.
But I love the fact that Anura Elms is very much a fan of the show. And like, I think he said on Unleashed that, he's watched it since he was 10 years old in Nigeria.
Nice.
And has grown up with the show. And I love, that's what I felt like this episode is like, if I got one chance to write a Doctor Who episode, like, it covers a lot of the greatest hits, and there's some stuff in here that isn't wholly original. I think you can look at, like, the section at the end, the resolution when it comes to, like, all of the old Doctors popping up on screens and things like that. It's something the show's done a fair bit, and that's a criticism you can level at it, that maybe we've done that one too many times. I think that's fair, but what I would argue is that maybe the other times are the issue and not this one, because I feel like this is such a perfect resolution to this story that maybe the fact that we've just overdone it a bit in the past has made it not work as well. I don't know if that makes sense, but
that makes sense.
I think, like, stuff like that, where it's like you're getting these big doctory moments, you're getting these lovely callbacks, but at the same time you're doing something completely new and original to you with it. It's what if I was given that one shot to just be like, you've got one episode, go for it, and this is going to be your Doctor Who legacy for it. I'd be like, this is what I'd want to do, is make something like this that's very personal to me, but also very personal to Doctor Who.
It's really interesting, because it feels unbelievably personal to Anura Elms, which I just think is a really cool note. It makes me wonder, like, previous guest writers, how much of themselves is in their episode, because I don't think any episode could beat, like, how much this feels like it's, Inua's true self coming through on screen. I don't know, I just find that so interesting that he poured, like, his heart and soul into this episode.
Yeah.
It's kind of beautiful.
Yeah, it is.
It's a beautiful thing.
Lovely. And I think it's a beautiful story for it. I think the imagery of it, some of the lines in there as well, which I just think have gone maybe a bit underrated when I've seen people chatting about the story. Like, some particular lines in this story are like, oh my God, that is gorgeous writing. Just so almost Moffat-esque, where it's like poetry like hidden within dialogue. That's what I love sometimes. I mean, it's you don't want it all the time, because then it doesn't feel like real people talking, and it's like you want real conversations. But I love the idea that anybody is capable of being a writer and writing some line of poetry within their normal daily life at any given point. And that's sort of the message of the part of the message of the episode as well. I think George made the point on Who Knew when we covered it yesterday, when I recorded, was that it's great that it's not focused on writers. It's an episode about stories, but it's not focused on writers. It's focused on the power of any story told by anybody. It's not writers are the most important people on Earth. It's stories are the most important thing on Earth. It sort of takes out there's a lot of barriers there. There's a lot of class barriers and things like that that rule people out of a story that's like, oh, we're going to go visit Shakespeare and we're going to go visit Agatha Christie, because they're obviously fantastic writers, but they're not the most relatable people on planet Earth all the time. But when you can strip it back to its roots of anybody can tell a story, that's a really beautiful thing. Really, really loved it.
Damn, I'm liking this episode more now. I really like. There's a lot of good stuff. Yeah, So what was yesterday? Oh, I was at I went to the movies late yesterday night, so I watched the episode late. And yeah, I think my criticism, the reason I have only given this a 7.5, which it'll probably be bumped up to an 8 at the end of this episode, was for me, I just wanted more. I wanted more of the supporting cast. That was my biggest issue, because I understand they needed a lot of people in there to to be telling the stories for the engine, but I was just so intrigued by especially Omo as a character. I really would have loved to have spent a bit more time with Omo and the special relationship that Omo has with the Doctor, and why the Doctor feels like this is a safe space. I understand, like, they cover all of it. I think I just wanted more, or like to understand more.
A bit more time to sit in that, yeah.
And I think the biggest problem I had, which is definitely my own fault because I think I missed it the first time watching it, was I thought that the barber was the god of stories, and then I kind of missed the bit where like Ncuti and like Verita laugh, and they're like, "Oh, I watched Endgame with this god or whatever." Ha ha ha.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I was confused because he was like, "Hey, I'm like Anansi," and then later it was like, "Oh, I'm actually not," but Abby, she is the daughter of Anansi or something.
Yes.
And then there was like, they had beef with, spoiler alert, the fugitive doctor, or something happened there.
I'm surprised it took us this long to mention her, to be honest.
Yeah, the fugitive doctor's in this. Whoa, crazy. So I think I just missed. It was late at night for me, which is my own fault. But I just missed that, and I felt like I was missing kind of a crucial part of the story there. So maybe I just needed to be spoon-fed because I'm a silly Australian. I don't know.
I think the explanation of it was...
Get off your phone, Crispy. Get off your phone. Actually, pay attention. No, I'm joking.
I do think the explanation was not as clear as it could have been on that situation.
Yeah,
no, I agree.
The Doctor losing a bet, or trying to lose a bet so that he didn't have to look after her as a kid or something because he felt it was unfair or something, but also she wanted to get out of the relationship with her dad, so she wanted him to take it. I don't know. I didn't fully follow that.
I do agree. The middle section, I'd say it's still really enjoyable to watch because
definitely
there's a lot of on paper it's a very exposition heavy episode, like especially that middle section. Sort of after the Doctor opens the door and nearly gets like pulled out up until the maze. That's all sort of just let's go back and forth. I'm saying this, you're saying that, and I think it's still great because I think mainly because of the supporting cast, because because Ncuti and Arian Bakare and Michelle Asante, I think, is played Abina. I think those three in particular elevate the dialogue and elevate the exposition to such an engaging like exchange.
Definitely, Barber was amazing.
Yeah, but it does get a bit muddy, and I think that's a fair criticism, that it gets a little bit muddy in the middle. It gets a bit like I think again, maybe because I've only seen it once, it'll benefit from rewatches. It didn't kill the episode for me. It just, I was like, okay, I think I'm keeping up, but I can see why other people might not be, because it can be a little bit. Oh, I'm this person, you're this person, but and I think I almost think, especially the stuff with Anansi and the bet and things like that.
Yeah,
I almost think there's a version of it where you've almost given too much information, and now it's become a bigger thing than it needs to be. And I think if you'd have kept it more vague, it makes everything else a bit easier to understand because it gives it more time to breathe. And definitely, you can keep that vague. And we've had that before. Like the one example that I use is like in Boom and stuff, when we're talking about the moon and the president's wife. Like, it's vague. We have no idea what that means.
No idea what that's. Yeah, what's going on?
We understand that it was a key event And I think you could have just used the performances of Ncuti and Michelle Asante to get across she's been wronged,
happened.
rather than having to delve into. All you need to say is there was a bet and she got stuck with Anansi, or she didn't get what she wanted. That's. I think maybe it's better to keep it vague there, because then it gives everything else a bit more time, and it also
gives Big Finish something to do.
Yeah, exactly. It gives them a bit more.
Well, they're rubbing their hands.
That's what they're there to fill the gaps.
Being like, oh, my story will be finished another day. And Big Finish, so they're like, that's what we're doing. That's what we're doing.
Yeah.
So we need to get into some callers, gents. But I do have one question on the fugitive doctor of it all. Did either of you know she was going to be in this season? Because I had heard rumours that she was going to be in it. I'd heard people theorising that she was going to be. Turns out, apparently, one account who I'm not going to name actually did confirm she was on set at one point, and that's what fumed all. Started all
this.
this.
What a wally! What a wally!
What a wally!
But an account that I've already muted because I got sick of seeing this stuff anyway, ironically.
I think I know the account.
Yeah.
Let's leave that
there. But I'd heard rumours that she was possibly going to be in it, but I'd almost half forgotten them. So I had no idea that it was confirmed or that she would be in this episode specifically. And I kind of wish I'd recorded my reaction, because I'm sat there watching it feeling really grubby, and I still leapt out on my chair I was like, what? And I didn't even take in what she was saying. She was there and gone so quickly. But I was looking at my mum what the hell? It was so good. I just love seeing her get referenced outside of the Jodie era. Like that now all cards are all bets are off. I love that. They've not kept her enclosed. Looks like Timeless Child. They're just no.
It really surprises me that because the last mention we had of that being a thing was Church on Ruby Road, when he's like, oh yeah, I was adopted or something. I think was that the last time.
There was that. You also saw Joe Martin's face in Rogue with all the faces around him.
Yeah.
But that just felt like a good nod. But actually seeing her now, it's like, oh yeah, you really are just we'll use whoever, whenever. And I really like that.
Yeah, I'm happy about it. There was a version of history where I think everyone was going to be like, oh yeah, Russell T Davies, he won't do anything with the Timeless Child. He won't touch it.
He won't touch it.
Isn't it mad? Isn't it mad? Do you remember
It's crazy.
Do you remember when they were all like, "Oh yeah, Russell's gonna erase the Timeless Child from history"? How'd that work out for you guys?
How's that going?
Yeah, it's gone well for you guys. I didn't know that she. I think I'd heard one or two rumors, but in the sense of I thought throwing off.
Yeah, people just
at the
hoping
wall and something's going to stick, but I hadn't heard anything concrete. I mean, I've seen, annoyingly, because people just tweet leaks out like everybody knows them, and I don't want to know them, and it's really frustrating. I knew about the well and stuff in advance. Well, I got it confirmed for me about a second before I started watching the episode.
Yep, same.
Yeah, which is really frustrating. I wonder if it was the same way. I wonder if we both found out the same.
I saw a screen grab of the captain being like, "It was called midnight."
Oh no! Well, I as I turned the episode on at 8:01, someone in a Discord. It's my fault because I should have turned my phone off earlier. Someone in a Discord server that I was in, had gone, "Oh, I've just jumped ahead. It's a midnight sequel." I was like, "Oh, why would you?" I mean, also, why are you jumping ahead? They jumped ahead at 1 minute past 8, and I was like, "That's
people are mad. People are bad behaviour." Who's doing that? Do they enjoy the show, or they just want to be a troll?
Why would you do that? Just watch it.
That's a horrible
watch it
thing
and enjoy it.
Wow.
Yeah.
I've got nothing to say to that. You know what? Some people suck, but people who don't suck are our callers, Crispy. Take it away.
What a segue. Hey, let's get someone that I think enjoyed it. It's Nardol's brother. Hello.
Oh, no.
Absolute killer concept for a story. Loved the idea they were going for here. Execution was rough. Pacing was off. But great concepts. Loved what they brought into this episode. Big question here. Since by regenerating, does the 15th Doctor remember what happened to the Fugitive Doctor now? Are those memories back? Even in the Big Finish audio stories, the Fugitive Doctor doesn't even know what happened to the Fugitive Doctor. I have so many questions.
This is something I've been thinking about a lot, and I have thoughts.
Go.
So, the argument, of course, is that, the start of the episode, there's this great scene which we haven't mentioned, which is the scene between 15 and Belinda about how his new body, he's not always treated the same now, but in Nigeria. It's like he's home with family, that kind of thing. Like, it's a gorgeous scene. But he does say this new black body first time. So, like, Fugitive Doctor, to me, it screams not immediately coming to mind. He hasn't got all the memories and kind of sometimes forgets that he's got that heritage. I think the Fugitive Doctor showing up there was more what was her name, the character? Abby? Abby. It was more what she was seeing as he was talking to her. I see it more like that. Like, she was imagining the Doctor that she knew. And it could also be stretched as far as to say that maybe, like, the relevant memory from the Fugitive Doctor has come back to Ncuti's brain, like, in the situation, like it's almost awoken it for a moment where he's gone, that one memory I can kind of remember because I've encountered someone because I recognised your face. So I think it's more an isolated returning memory based on that situation. I don't think he's got all the memories back. Your thoughts, gents?
Josh, you go.
I don't care.
Cool. Let's go. Let's move on.
Honestly, no, I don't. I'm really not that.
It's not a
fussed. It's not.
Fair.
It doesn't bother me that much because as long as it serves the story correctly, which I think, and I think, like I said, there's a version of dropping a cameo in there that sometimes it can be nostalgia bait, to reference another podcast.
We're giving them too much screen time. I don't like this.
We are, yeah. And I think this was a really nice example of using a cameo very reservedly.
Yeah.
But in terms of the logistics of it, I mean, also I think, like, if I am going to delve into it, like, people forget, like, Jodie remembered bits. Like, Jodie had little flashbacks and things when things triggered flashbacks. Like, I think those memories are obviously still there, dormant, and just need to be awakened. Oh, maybe the Doctor's opened the fob watch. We don't know that. And I think it's more interesting if we don't know that. And we don't know what the Doctor knows. That's more interesting to me. But it just didn't really strike me as an issue in the episodes, to be honest. I also think, maybe he's got some memories and maybe he remembers parts of the adventures, but not specifics. And I think there's easy ways around it. It doesn't bother me too much.
It's a good answer. It's a really good answer. It didn't bother me until I heard that call and I was like, yeah, that's something, isn't it?
I don't think I'd actually thought about it too much until someone pointed out, but my first thought when he said first time black body, I was like, fugitive? Like, that was like my first thought watching the episode. I was like, Joe Martin?
Joe Martin?
Yeah. I mean, like I say, it looks like he remembers it. He starts to remember it, and he obviously doesn't remember it initially. So I just think it's one of those things where, a dormant memory has just sort of come to life as he's been reminded of all of the different pieces of it, and it's just clicked into place, and maybe they're being in the realm of the storyteller people helps they bring out. I mean, it's a load of Doctor Who guff. We can find a way around it.
You can do anything. Yeah,
that's the thing.
Can do anything we want.
Can find
Doctor Who.
There's bigger fish to fry that we've had to, find our way around. To get out
as fans of Doctor Who, we accept a lot of nonsense, and I think this episode is better for having that cameo anyway. So I'll take anything. I'll take anything for that. I thought it was a really sweet moment. Hey, someone else that enjoyed it, Mateo. What have you got to say?
Yo, oh my god, I just finished the episode. It was really good. I liked it a lot. We got Joe Martin. I'm a little bit confused about how the Doctor remembers something that happened while he was the fugitive Doctor. I don't really know how that works. But overall, it was a great episode. I think it's like 9 out of 10, maybe even 10. I'm probably going to watch it again later tonight. Awesome.
Well, don't worry, Mateo, because we've answered your questions on that front.
Yeah, I think we've given about 3 separate.
That's what you got to do. Just stop caring.
Don't care. Don't give a damn.
Oh gosh.
Oh boy. Hey, it's not all roses here, folks. Someone I don't think liked the episode. Let's listen to Jim. Hello, Jim.
Very much a slow filler episode. There was no plot, there was random fan service, and the dialogue they just made up as they were going along. This was an episode we did not need for this whole season, because we only have 8 episodes.
Filler?
I could not disagree more. One, right, Jim, you've made an enemy here. Jim,
Listen, buddy.
Filler is killer. That is the rules. Filler is not a dirty word in my book. And also, I don't think it is filler. I think it's very important and vital to the Doctor's story.
Yeah.
I think maybe plot-wise to the season, it's a break away from, the ongoing plot. But that's not the stuff I care about as much anyway. I care about the Doctor, what the Doctor's feeling, Belinda, what the Belinda's feeling. That's what I care about. I care about the characters. And I want to see them progress, not the plot. I want it to be character-driven, not plot-driven.
Well done.
And by that same
answer.
token, you could even say The Well was filler in that sense, because there's a bit of progression there, but the main episode is a side adventure off that doesn't further the main plot of the season. So, it's just not... I don't think it's an argument you even make. And also, if we're calling Joe Martin being put into it as, the height of fan service, then I think the expectations of fan service are a little bit off skew there, because not everyone is the biggest future Doctor fan, because she comes from an era that, unfortunately, a lot of fans don't even enjoy.
Yeah. Also, dialogue being made up as it goes along. That's how every script is written.
Yeah,
dialogue is made up as it goes along.
All dialogue. I was about to say the same damn thing. I'm like, newsflash, buddy. Every single bit of dialogue is made up. Hey, Jim. Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry
Jim.
to dunk on you there, but you're wrong.
Government name. Sorry, James. Sorry you didn't like it.
Sorry, James. No, you're entitled to your opinion, but I think there
absolutely.
might be. I think
Yeah,
give it
you're
a second
entitled
watch.
to opinion. It's just wrong.
Yeah, it's just wrong.
It's fine.
It's fine.
I
Who
have
cares?
said that as joke. You're entitled to your opinion, even if it's a bad one.
Yeah, exactly.
Thank you for calling in, though, genuinely.
Yeah,
So
thank you.
didn't like
Appreciate
it,
you.
but maybe
Thanks,
rewatching
Jim.
it, you never know. Sometimes a rewatch can change your attitudes on it.
That's right. That's exactly right. I have another one here from Jeremy Duncan, who
Okay.
have said they have a problem with the episode. Let's have a listen.
Oh dear.
This episode was amazing. One problem, though, there was not enough elaboration on anything. We were shown lots of great concepts, and we were shown just enough of them for the story to function, for it to work. But there was just a lack of explanation, a lack of framing. We don't know if these story lords are at the same level of gods as the Pantheon. We don't know a lot of things. We don't know how the Doctor remembers being the fugitive Doctor. Anyway, that's my criticism, but I loved it.
Josh is starting
The
to realise now how
really
much this
upset
question
about
is
this, really, aren't
Our entire audience seems to be hung up on the fugitive Doctor.
They really
I
are.
am
Yeah.
constantly, mate. It's all good. I love her. I love her.
Yeah, that's funny. That's good.
I can understand that criticism a bit more of things not maybe having as much explanation as they could have. But the thing is, I don't think we needed the Harbinger angle of the gods, because
No.
the Harbinger
I'm
is to
glad they
warn of a
didn't do
god's
it.
coming, to cause some chaos or to do stuff. These gods are just, for story's sake, just chilling, just doing god things and not being evil. And it's
Yeah.
the Barber as this kind of demigod who wants to take revenge, who's causing the problem. But he's not even a full god, so he doesn't need a Harbinger. And so we don't need Harbingers for gods that aren't about to cause problems. So we can mention gods without the need for Harbingers in that context.
I completely agree. I'm so glad that it wasn't a Pantheon episode.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
that
Agreed.
just again muddies the waters. It adds more confusion to the mix, and also I just think it's better to just have this be a standalone thing. Anura Adams has written it. You don't want Russell poking his fingers in and going, right, now you've got to put a Harbinger moment in here. You've got to just let the episode be what it is. That's fine. Doesn't matter that it's not a Harbinger or a Pantheon god or anything. Also very happy that they didn't turn out to be Time Lords, because I think that was a prevailing theory going in. Was that
Really?
the Barber might have been a new Time Lord.
I never heard this before.
And
what?
and the
Threatening
barber shop
Time
might have
Lord
been a
name.
TARDIS and things like that. And I was like, okay, fun idea. I'm not against new Time Lords as long as you sort of make them individual and separate them out from not just being a different version of the Master. But I was like, that's just gonna. Then it just whatever story they get introduced in just gets bogged down in Gallifrey lore and things like that. And I'm like, I don't want that from this. It's not what I want from this.
And especially a one-off episode from a guest writer, that feels like a bit too much to handle them.
Exactly. But yeah, no, I hear the point And I think that goes back to what I said earlier, is that some things are elaborated on too much and some things aren't elaborated enough on. And it's just the balance of those in that middle section could maybe be skewed slightly, and then we'd have maybe a perfect story. I think we'd be cooking on gas there. If some things were explained less and gave the other things a bit more time to breathe. That's my main criticism of the episode.
Fair.
Yeah, no, it is good. There is one line that in the episode that I think Russell T Davies did right, and I noticed it the first time watching it because it happens off camera. It's as soon as the Doctor leaves the TARDIS and he's like, "Oh, 2019, great year." I'm like, "Oh, he's just saved himself," being like, "It's not modern day Earth. It's 2019. It's set in the past. We're fine." It's all good.
You might have said to him, "Make sure you make it clear that it's not present." Yeah, you probably said that to him.
I can guarantee you that wasn't in the original script.
I was worried going in. I was like, are we going to have like a line that's like Belinda's trying to warn them about COVID and things like this? And this is how Belinda... I was like, I don't want to do that. Let's not do that. Let's not do COVID again.
It's funny, like that year now, as soon as he said 2019, I was like, before COVID. Like, I can't... Like, it's such a strange thing now. It's just part of my...
2019
part
BC.
Of your canon, man. BC. Oh, crikey, Moses. Yeah, no,
that's not
pretty
the BC
much.
I'm used to, no.
No.
We got anybody else you wanna pick on, Crispy? Oh, sorry, pick out. No,
I feel like I genuinely feel I only listened to like the first little bit of theirs, but I feel like everyone's going to be like, also, I had a question with Joe Martin's Doctor. How does that work? So I'm worried about what we've got. We've got Mr. Scarlo here, and I've just written banger. So let's just see what happens here. I've got no idea.
Banger, let's see.
Yeah, here we go. Hi, Mr. Scarlo. Welcome back.
The story and the engine. Well, man, that was a banger. I think this is a solid 9 out of 10 for me. Up there with Lux as best of the series. Just a great concept. You've got great writing, great character moments with Abby, the barber, Omo, and the prequel. I loved reading the prequel before this, so I've got to understand the character more. Just a lot of fun, and I think this has the potential to be a top 5 series.
Top 5 series, damn.
I meant to bring this up, I forgot. Yeah, they did release a free prequel thing online, like a little story you could read before the episode. I haven't read it.
I didn't hear about this.
I haven't either. I think from what I've gathered, the basis of it is the story that Omo tells in the pre-titles about the Doctor coming to save him as a kid.
I love that.
It's
I really
that elaborated on, because I noticed that all of the illustrations that were on the short story on the website are the same illustrations that are in the episode. Also, the animation work in this episode is
crazy.
Gorgeous.
We need to mention that. I forgot about like that, but it's so much fun. And I really thought when they were telling the stories, I was like, oh, this is just for us, the viewer. And then after the title sequence, and then that they like Ncuti goes and touches the wall, I'm like, oh no, they're all seeing that. I just thought that was really cool.
Yeah.
If you're going to get trapped somewhere, it's nice to have pretty visuals.
And I also loved the story with Belinda as well, just as its own little isolated thing. That was so gorgeous as well.
I was so worried that this episode was going to be the first episode of Doctor Who I ever watched, like The Lodger, where Amy just gets stuck in the TARDIS the whole time, and it's Ncuti's episode. And I was like, we missed out on Belinda last week. If we're going to miss out on Belinda this week, like, I really am enjoying what we're doing with Belinda. But I'm so glad not only was she in this episode more than I expected, they had a little flashback for her, and it was a really touching story.
I thought exactly it was nice. The same. I thought, I was like, if any episode's going to be companion light, it's going to be this one, because this very much feels like like Ncuti's story.
Yeah, definitely.
Ncuti's spoken a lot about this one and how much it means to him, and I was like, okay, that's a bit of a concern, because last season I feel like the momentum of the series jolted a bit when we hit 73 yards and Dot and Bubble, because we had two episodes that were like a Doctor Light and then a Doctor and Companion Light episode last season. And I was like, I was really enjoying the momentum, and I thought Lucky Day would trip it up, and it didn't. And I enjoyed Lucky Day, and I thought, okay, now I'm ready to go back to Belinda now, though. And I was like, because I'm really engaging with Belinda as a companion. She's my favourite companion in years. And I just really liked the way she was integrated in this story, because, like you said, it would have been really easy to just have her stuck in the TARDIS, but she actually has very important moments and a lot of
Yeah.
agency in the story, because obviously she's the one who basically pushes the Doctor to go and go to Hermes Palace.
Have his
and,
moment.
Yeah, and it's
Which she brings up, and I love. She brings that up later,
Yeah.
like to stand up for herself.
exactly. And then when she does get into the barbershop, she's the one who has the moment with Abby that she had. There's that again when I was talking about beautiful lines earlier. The hurt people line. It's gorgeous,
It's fantastic.
And that's like a really nice moment between with Belinda having real agency in this story, even though it's not really her story. It's, you know, she's there, but she's important, and she has a role to play. And are we also going to mention, just because I'm intrigued about everybody's thoughts?
Yes,
are we gonna mention Poppy, Captain Poppy?
Yes, was
No.
wondering about this. Now, I did see. Oh no! Oh no! No! Now.
I'm not going to play the whole thing. I made a Space Baby song.
George Sheard of Nostalgia Bait, he tweeted the Captain Poppy thing, which I saw before watching the episode, which it's my
What?
fault. I logged onto Twitter, but I'm still going to blame him because it's never my fault. But thankfully, that was the only thing I saw, and not Joe Martin. I'd have been very annoyed if I'd seen Joe Martin, but I didn't.
Yeah.
Luckily didn't get that spoiled. But I noticed it mentioned Captain Poppy, and I was like, that looks like her, yeah. And then when the baby showed up, or I guess now toddler at this point, I was like, yeah, that is Poppy. And in the credits, is credited as Poppy, exact same cast as Space Babies. So apparently Anita Dobson said at some point that the finale of this season would tie back to Space Babies, which again plays this thing I've
interested.
brought up to you, Crispy, which
I'm
is
not
that
interested.
Russell... Get over it. Russell has said that this is going to be a big 2-season arc and that some things wouldn't be wrapped up till season 2, a la Mrs. Flood. But it sounds like there might be even more connections there with Space Babies. Now, I don't know if you're aware, Josh, I'm more of a Space Babies enjoyer than the average person. I think it gets way too more hate than it deserves.
Yeah.
But like, even I'm intrigued. Like, how are you going to connect that to the finale? Like, I'm very
really
wondering about
intrigued. Yeah, I mean, I probably sit between the two of you in that I know that it's not the best, but I still enjoy it, even though I'm aware it's as an opener. I don't think it's a great start.
Yeah,
That's my biggest problem with it.
But I have a lot.
That's literally it.
I can switch my brain off and have a lot of fun with it, and I think it's enjoyable. I also like the Target novelization is quite good as well. But yeah, I'm very intrigued. I mean, I wasn't expecting it. I think I'd heard
What a
the odd
surprise.
rumour here and there, but again, I just thought it was part of a load of nonsense and people sort of taking the mick out of Space Babies a bit, but now it actually turned out to be real. And I just don't really know how it's going to work. I mean, I assume maybe we'll see maybe we might even see her next week, because I just feel like
no.
next week might
Mrs.
lead
Flood
into the
and
finale,
Poppy?
and
maybe Poppy's the harbinger of Mrs. Flood.
Oh my
Yeah.
goodness gracious!
You're
me.
saying
Maybe-
you're glad we didn't have a harbinger. I mean,
the
we're going
other
to
way
get one in
around.
2 weeks, fellas. I don't know why we're worried.
maybe
you
the
know?
fart monster, maybe the fart spaceship is actually a member of the
god of
Pantheon.
gas.
The god
Oh,
of gas,
no. God of gas.
the god of nappies.
Moving swiftly onwards,
my
Crispy,
gosh.
Crispy.
Yeah,
I
man.
think there's a certain other jingle that you need to press.
Yeah,
One's a bit more relevant to
yeah.
the episode, if you don't mind.
I
sir.
got you. All right, let's play it. Let's do it. Here we go.
Bingo!
Oh, Josh is in on it. Look at that. He's got the
Yeah.
I'm
headphones on.
enjoying this.
Check,
time
Josh,
for
are you
bingo,
familiar with our
everyone.
bingo feature?
Do you know about bingo, Josh? All right.
He's not.
not.
Oh, this is disgraceful. We should
Well,
have vetted him
I
before we
know. I'm
invited
really
him on.
sorry.
No,
Ladies
this
and gentlemen,
is
it's
gonna blow
time for
your
our
mind.
game of weekly bingo.
You've sent me a
where
bingo
we-
card.
We have, yeah. I sent you the bingo card, so you have
Okay.
that for reference. We created a bingo card for those of you who are not in the know, mainly just Josh. No, we created a bingo card, which is our predictions and/or hopes and/or jokey things. So some serious, some definitely not. For things that we think might or will, or in some cases won't happen, from how we arranged it in season 2 of Doctor Who. We've been slowly checking them off as we go through the series. Once again for the video, folks, 3, 2, 1. Here's where the bingo card currently stands as of last week's episode. So, gents, have a little look over it. Is there anything on here you think we can make a case for? I did hear from Crispy
Yes.
very briefly before we started
Yes.
recording and before Josh joined that he wants to make a case for a very specific grid on
Yes.
the card. Crispy, which grid is it? Which square is it?
Well, it's funny because a lot of these are pretty detailed ones, being like, oh, callback song at the Interstellar Song Contest. Like, that's very specific.
Yeah, we were too specific with some of these. All we've done every week is just criticize this bingo card.
Yeah.
We have not done nearly as good a card as the last few.
This is a horrible, horrible bingo card. But the middle one there that just says Daleks, I want to tick that off because Ncuti, I think for the first time, has said Dalek, right? Surely?
He did.
Yeah.
He did.
Yeah. So also, I'm happy to cross that off.
This is a little side point, but just something that somebody pointed out, which is really funny, which is an actual genuine nitpick with the episode, is when Ncuti's doing that, when the Doctor's doing that, and he says "weeping angels." What are you doing, man? You want to make an image of a weeping angel right now? You really you want to add that to your mix?
You fool!
What are you doing?
Oh, true.
You get. Oh, I want a big picture of a weeping angel to appear on screen. He also says weeping angels, so it'd show multiple.
Yeah,
so you've got
plural.
3 to deal with. Well done, Doctor.
I'm glad it wasn't part of a main story because that would have been a huge plot hole. That was very, very nearly a massive plot hole. Good grief.
It's a
very good point.
stupid 0 out of 10. Worst episode ever.
Oh dear.
Wow.
But yeah, so like for context for you, Josh, I argued from the season 2 trailer that the death effect from the robots in Robot Revolution looked very much like an extermination, which I don't think was. Like, I think plenty of people theorized.
I thought that. I did think that.
Yeah, there you go. So I was like, also because Ncuti really wants to face Daleks, and I also felt like we kind of need to see Daleks against Ncuti at some point. I felt like we had to see them this season. I don't think it's going to happen. So
We'll
like,
see the finale. We'll see what happens.
Mrs. Flood, what she got of the Daleks, is that what it actually is?
Yeah.
I'm quite happy, even if it's a technicality, I'm quite happy to just tick off Daleks now, because I think we may not get a chance to tick it off again. And it is the centre space of the grid, so I kind of want that box
tick
top.
it, go for it. I mean, I'd be tempted. I mean, it's too early to tick it off. I'd be tempted to argue for the best episode is guest written.
Yeah.
I mean, but we don't know yet because next week could be the best episode, and I worry about the finale.
I worry about the finale too.
Yeah, I think everybody's worried about the finale. I just think, is it going to stick the landing? I really hope it does. Again, it's not from a wish of wanting it to fail. It's very much wanting it to succeed, but I don't know. I think, but then you could argue looks. I don't know. Maybe it's a potential. It's a potential ticking off, but I'd hold off.
I'm not sure how confident I am.
I'd maybe hold off
Premature
until the end of the series. But I think that might have been secured this week, in my opinion. But Crispy gave it a 7.5, so it's your bingo.
We didn't bring you here to get your opinions. We came here to just get your audience to watch us. That's it. We're using it.
Well,
Troy revealing everything.
Well, you'll be sorely disappointed.
Oh my goodness!
I was wondering about that. I'm kind of tempted. Like, it's not my highest scoring episode, so I don't know if I could personally argue for it, but I can understand the argument for it. Yeah. I think we'll probably do the finale episode live anyway, so we can probably get our audience to weigh in and give us the thoughts at that point. So that could be interesting. But yeah, I don't think there's anything else we could tick off.
I don't think there's anything else. Get rid of it.
We'll have to just tick off Daleks and leave it be.
Leave it be.
All right, so there you go, folks. The video version is the new
Was the
grid.
14th Doctor on the screens? Has anybody checked this?
I
really don't
know,
think.
But I
don't think
kind
so.
of. I said it more as just him showing up. Because
I know that all. I thought I saw somebody saying that all of them, including other than Sylvester McCoy, were on there. So I haven't checked.
Oh, what?
Poor Sylvester.
Maybe he is.
What's Sylvester done?
He was on a screen, but I think it just was out of shot slightly because somebody posted a behind the scenes picture of Sylvester on one of the screens. So he was there. He just wasn't shown on screen.
Did get to the final cut.
I don't know if the 14th Doctor made it in there, and I would argue that if you're saying that Ncuti saying the word Daleks is the return of the Daleks, then I'd say that seeing a picture of the 14th Doctor is a return for the 14th Doctor.
Listen, Josh, if there's one thing you can't apply to our podcast, it's logic.
Fair.
Yeah. No, it's true. I
we
will
don't
be
work
able
logically here.
Okay.
I'll be able to find it. I'll be able to find it. You keep talking, I'll be able to tell you.
I'd say the Rani returns, just because I've decided that Omo is the Rani.
Wow. Okay.
There's
all right.
the
Cool.
logic.
Wow.
Cool. Well, while Crispy does this, we can say that's almost wrapping it up because like the Doctor's hair, we've navigated a maze of people's opinions. That was a great thing, by the way. I love that we got the details on that. What have you found, 14th Doctor?
Hang on.
I'm just
Hang
bouncing
on.
between different thoughts here. What's going on?
Can you see that?
Oh,
He's there.
He's
the shot from
wow.
the giggle. The final in the giggle. He's there.
We've
Who
ticked
has
it
put together
off.
this beautiful
We have ticked
Okay.
video?
Wow.
He's in there.
wow.
14th Doctor has returned.
Didn't
The
even
14th
notice
Doctor
it.
returned.
Do you know what?
Did
I'm
we
going to give you
expect the
that. I'm
14th
going to
Doctor
give you
to look
that. I
like
think
The
we'll do it.
Wire in the background? No, we
Feed
didn't.
me.
Feed me. Hungry.
Hungry.
Oh, who'd have thought?
dinner with
I
Mad
got a
Auntie Mel.
family, and I'm hungry.
Hungry.
Oh my god!
very good.
All right, you know,
Very,
and that's
very
fair
good.
because that means if we tick that off, all we need to do is decide whether the Doctor and Belinda have become best friends or not by the end, and we might actually get bingo off this absolute
my gosh, if we
travesty
get
of a
bingo-
card.
Oh my god, you might get a line. That's amazing.
Wow.
Well, thank you, Josh. You might have just saved this
Thank
feature.
you. You've saved.
So thank you very
not
much.
Only
It's
bingo,
okay.
but you've
So
saved
I'm
this
in the
podcast.
business of saving podcasts. That's exactly
you.
what I do.
So,
Appreciate it.
Video
They're
appreciate
all
it.
failing until I'm
There's
there.
the finished version. Actually, I might not have put it up when I last said it, but either way, there's the new finished version for you all to see for this
Beautiful.
week. There you go. So yeah, as we're saying, much like Ncuti's hair, we've navigated through all the opinions, you know, which again, I loved that, and I loved that we got to like they explained
Very
like that
cool.
was the thing that they used that like slaves did as like a way to communicate that couldn't be
Yeah.
Unreal.
checked.
Beautiful.
That's such a cool thing because I didn't know about that. It's a really interesting fact. But we've seen a lot of opinions, and I'm glad to see that everyone, for the most part, Jim. No, it's glad to see that most people really enjoyed it. So I'm really glad, and thank you very much, Josh, for coming to share your opinions on the story and the
Thank you,
engine.
Josh.
Oh, well, thank you for
appreciate
having me
you.
on. I'm very, very grateful to be invited.
It's been a joy.
Do you wanna-
It's been a joy. But to
Can
finish
you,
off, you get
yeah.
a moment here. You get a moment.
I get to
you
plug.
can blast out all
Yeah.
your stuff with a
Everything.
big
Lovely.
foghorn. Tell everyone who you are, where
Right.
you are, what you do.
Okay, so my name's Josh Carr. You can find me on all the socials at Josh Ryan Carr, and I host a podcast called Who Knew, a Doctor Who podcast, where I chat to wonderful people in and around the world of Doctor Who about their love for the show and their experiences. I've had many wonderful guests. Troy has been on the show. You've actually
Yeah,
been
the
on a
most
couple of times.
high-profile guest you've ever had is Troy
Yeah.
Red Arch
Absolutely,
Alive.
yeah. I'm
Yes.
more
Yeah,
hyper
yeah.
on Chris Chibnall. Yeah, of
But
course.
I speak to wonderful creators. I've not had Crispy on yet, but that will come eventually.
We'll talk.
It's going to happen.
We'll talk.
We'll absolutely talk.
Oh yeah, will we? Will we?
Yeah,
We will. I want this to happen
Yeah.
more than anything.
I think you
would
should
love
have
to
us
be
on
on
in the
it.
next few weeks, fella. I don't know.
Well, I'm busy.
That might be pushing it.
I'm stacked
That might
up
be
at the
pushing it,
moment
mate.
because at the moment I've got season 2 coverage coming out of your ears. I'm doing weekly episodes at the minute,
Blimey.
and I've got a different guests very similar to these guys every single week. These two may be coming on. Who knows? Oh, I've just realised that's what you were alluding to. I'm
That
very
was,
sorry.
yeah, and I was like,
Ignore
when
me.
you blew it off, I was like,
Yeah.
oh, he's not revealing that. Okay, cool.
No, I am revealing. Yeah, no, that's fine. These two are coming on for one of the episodes.
Hey!
We'll,
Yay!
yeah, well, I'll save which episode because that's a nice surprise.
Yeah.
Yes, but
And-
it might rhyme with the Binter Scholar Bong Bong test. Winky face.
No, it
not-
doesn't.
It's not that one.
It's
It's
not
not
that
that one.
It's
Or
not.
We'll
is
find
it?
out the reality of it soon enough.
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh.
Well,
Sorry,
you've
we
done
just
that now,
derailed you.
haven't
I can cut it out. I can cut it out.
No, don't worry, I don't mind. So I've got season 2 coverage up until the end of season 2, and then I'll be back to fortnightly episodes which are interviews with guests. So I've got Damler and Elliot from Come Along Pond coming on.
Amazing.
And then I've got Jamie Magnus Stone, the director from Flux,
We love
Series
Jamie.
12 and Power of the Doctor. And then I have some exciting other guests that I'm currently working on following that. So, yeah, but at the minute there's a big back catalogue of interviews, including one with Chris Chibnall, which went a little bit mental. And thank you to anybody who has
stuff.
listened to that. But please, I'm very close to 1,000 subscribers on the YouTube channel. I would
Yeah,
love to
go.
hit that by the end of season 2. So please come along, subscribe, follow, listen to some of the old episodes. I'm sure you'll find something to enjoy. And yeah, and you can find me on all of the socials, either Who Knew Podcast or Josh Ryan Carr. And I think that's pretty much everything I've got to plug. So
It's incredible. And you are an absolute master of your craft. One of the best Doctor
Thank
Who
you.
podcasts to listen to. I love the fact that you just get these amazing people on, and then you have to go and ruin it by getting Troy on. It's insane.
Well, it's one.
In
Definitely
5
silent.
minutes,
One
you went
for
from
me,
me
one for
being
them,
his
you know.
biggest guest to me being the one that lets the pack down.
Troy, I'm just messing with you, bro. I love you.
I like my
love you.
podcast to be a roller coaster of highs and lows.
Yeah, clearly. I feel like I'm on one. Don't put a
Don't
shrimp
be
on the
daft.
bar,
The episode with you,
Bugger
Troy,
off.
is a lovely episode. It's a very,
Yeah,
very
it's a
nice
banger.
episode.
I've
and we
listened
had a
to it.
great-
I listened to that episode twice, Troy.
So have I.
genuinely. Yeah, nice.
I haven't.
It is great. I really enjoyed it. It was really, really fun to do. Thank you for that,
I
mate.
haven't. But, I edit it, so,
Yeah, that's
technically
enough.
I've listened to it. That's enough.
Yeah,
and,
that's true.
and then I never listen to them again.
Yeah,
I just
they go
chuck
off
them
into
out
the
onto
ether.
the internet. Then they're
yeah.
yours. They're yours to enjoy, not
Exactly.
mine anymore.
Exactly. So if everyone could please go and subscribe.
Pretentious, wasn't it? It was really pretentious.
It was not pretentious at all.
And on that lovely note of pretension, is that a thing? Pretension? Is that a word?
Pretension.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Gonna pretend it
Set
is.
distance.
Crispy, you know what I'm going to ask you? We need your closing
What?
comments, mate.
I haven't had a haircut in a while.
I mean, neither have I, actually, to be fair.
I had one last week.
That's my closing comment. Oh, there
so
we go.
Hey.
I came prepared.
It
Well-
wasn't in Lagos, was it?
It was not, no. It was
Okay,
in
good,
Norwich.
Good. Oh, yeah.
Very similar,
Fair
though.
enough.
I'm sorry
Very
to hear
similar.
that. Anyway, no. Right, well, on that note, folks, I think that's a good point to wrap up. Anytime someone mentions Norwich,
Beautiful.
I want to run away, so it's fair. I have nothing against Norwich. The only thing I have against Norwich, and this is just, Crispy's not going to get this, I'm sorry, but
No.
do you remember the old Harry Hill's TV bit about Norwich?
I do,
Yep.
yeah.
Yep. And he just
Yeah.
went really hard on Norwich for absolutely no
He
reason.
did, and I, as somebody who has emigrated to Norwich from near your neck of the woods, because I'm from near you, aren't I? I'm from Southport, so I'm not like just around the corner from Liverpool. I'm a wool, as many would describe. I'm sure Troy would describe me as a wool. It's barely Merseyside, but I do think Norwich gets a very rough reputation, partly due to Alan Partridge, but I love Norwich. It's a lovely place. Troy, you should come here one day. Crispy,
might
you
do.
should too. It's a long
Yeah,
trip.
I will. I'll
but
look
you
up
should-
plane tickets. I'll look up
Yeah.
plane
I'd
tickets.
love to meet you, mate. Are you going to MCM Comic Con, by the way, at the end of the month?
I am not, unfortunately, no. But I'm often at BFI events, if there are any.
It's too far away, mate. It's too far away.
It's the same distance as
Too
MCM.
far
I
away.
don't have to be on a panel
It's-
at BFI. I do for MCM. That's actually just got announced, by the way. Yeah, I can't wait for that.
What?
The Who
What's been
community,
announced?
the community show.
Oh,
on the panel for
yes,
MCM.
yes.
Oh, yeah, that
You're
you're
on the
part of.
panel, aren't you?
I'm so excited for. I'm so excited for that.
I've done it before. And it's very fun. You'll have
Yeah,
a lot of fun.
I'm really looking forward to it. So that'll
yes.
be great.
Very enjoyable.
Yeah. So on that note, we'll have lots of stories to fuel an engine for that in a couple of weeks' time. There you go.
Nice.
Brought
Good
it all
work,
home.
Troy.
Brought it all
Troy.
home.
Gosh, wow.
Solid.
Well played.
So we will see you all next week where we discuss the Interstellar Song Contest with 2 special guests.
What? Are you serious?
Two of them. Well, we've been teasing them all episode, referencing them far more than we should. So we'll be welcoming them back to a brand new episode because George and Cooper of Nostalgia Bait will be joining us to discuss the Interstellar Song Contest next.
Well, if you want back to back, you can head over and listen to Who Knew and
Don't do
hear
that.
George and Cooper talk.
I'm
what
kidding,
the hell,
I'm kidding,
man?
I'm kidding, I'm kidding, I'm kidding.
We can
Yeah,
talk,
of
you can
course,
listen
go.
to George and Cooper talk about the story of the engine as well.
Yeah.
Wow.
And they also do Quiz Chibnall. So,
Yes.
which
You have now made Chris aware of and I love.
That's incredible.
I quiz
crazy.
Quiz Chibnall with Chris Chibnall.
Yep,
It's-
that was
it's
fantastic.
amazing.
I'm
It's
so glad
truly
you saw an
incredible.
opportunity and you took it.
I did.
was brilliant.
I had to do it. Had to be done.
So
Oh
until
my
next
goodness
week,
gracious.
where we discuss the Interstellar Song Contest, it is goodbye from Crispy.
Goodbye.
It's goodbye from special guest Josh Carr.
Goodbye.
And it's goodbye from me. Goodbye and see you all next week. Alan Z, baby.
Allons-y, baby.
Alonzi, baby.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
He
that's
joined
right.
Felt really unnatural. Just did not feel right to me.
It felt right to us. Bye.